All right, join me right now is two-time Olympic gold medalist and PFL Women's Lightweight Tournament champion, Kayla Harrison. Kayla, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
All right, for sure. Now, first thing I want to get into is hashtag UnicornGang. For the people that don't know, can you explain that movement?
Well, my goodness, it's kind of a long story, but one of my nicknames at the gym is Unicorn because I'm a very rare and magical creature, I guess. So I'm kind of the last unicorn, but I have a bunch of friends on the team who all wanted to be part of my unicorn gang. So last year when I had a guy out here filming leading up to the championships, he was like, he called us a uni gang. So he puts, it's a thing. It's
Yeah,
taken over.
I really enjoyed those the documentary that you put out last year. That was so
Yeah,
fun. Like
oh,
I especially loved you singing in the car. That was the best.
I know. Well, I mean, that's my everyday. So I was like, we're just going to keep it real. This is what I do every day. This is who I am. It needs to be a part of it.
For sure. Now, you've been in the spotlight since a young age. When was the moment you realized that this was getting serious, that you were drawing a lot of eyes?
Um, I mean, I don't really feel like I guess I've been in the spotlight, but in a very small bubble. The judo world is not a big community, especially in the United States. So, I never really felt like a ton of pressure that I was a star or a superstar or anything like that. And I don't really feel like that now. I mean, it's not like I can go to the grocery, I can wear no makeup and walk around in sweats and pretty much live a normal life. So I don't really feel like I'm a star or anything like that. I just feel lucky to get to do what I did, get to do what I love every day. I'm pretty fortunate in that sense. I don't have to go to work a 9 to 5. I get to beat people up for a living. So
Definitely. But, you've had the cameras in your face. That's something that can be daunting,
yeah,
right?
I mean, I guess it's been such a part of me and growing up. I never thought of it as like a difficult thing. I have had people say, "Oh, you're really good in front of a camera," and I was like, I guess I just be myself.
I feel like that's a huge advantage for you entering MMA is that you've had that exposure, of cameras in your face all the time. Because some people are very good at what they do, but when they get
Hmm.
in front of the cameras, they just freeze and they don't know how to speak. And
Yeah, I would say that obviously being able to keep my composure in front of a camera is important, and the spotlight is important. But more than anything, what helped prepare me for MMA was just the pressure of being in a high risk, high reward sport, or the pressure of being in an Olympic final, the pressure of being in the final of the Paris Grand Slam or this tournament or that tournament, having that kind of pressure and knowing that okay, it's time to go. It's like, that kind of pressure is, you can't buy it. And I know that in the moment when the lights are shining brightest, that's when my head is the coolest. That's when I'm the most composed. And that's when I go out there and I really, really shine.
yeah, you've definitely shown that throughout your career. Now, COVID, it's detoured everyone's plans, in 2020. It's a new year, new season is official. What are the emotions going into this season compared to, like, let's say 2019?
Well, 2019 was a rough year. I only got to fight once. Or sorry, 2020, I only got to fight once. 2019 was exciting because it was the first females lightweight tournament. It was really my first. I had 3 fights before that, but you could definitely say I was still green. Didn't really know what I was doing. Um, 2021, I think I'm more of a veteran. I think I'm more well-rounded. I think I'm more capable, and I think that everyone knows now that I'm serious and I mean business, and I'm gonna go win it all again.
So when you look at the lineup coming into this year, what do you think? Is it the most stacked?
Definitely, I think they got a lot of new talent. They have some veterans on the roster. They have some new up-and-comers who throw heavy leather. Um, I think it's going to be an interesting year, an interesting season. I'm excited for it. And, my mentality is always everyone's tough until you beat them. So you got to go out there, you got to perform, you got to instill your will. And everyone is your toughest opponent until you go out there and put them away.
Stylistically, there's some interesting matchups coming in. There's different skill sets and people from all around the
Hmm.
world. Is
Hmm.
there any one particular fighter that's coming in? You're like, okay, I might have to keep an eye on this one.
Um, I think again, Larissa is going to give me the toughest time. I think she's just very well rounded. I think people overlook her quickly because of her UFC career, and they think, oh, she didn't do anything in the UFC. She must not be that good. But she was like 19 and she was fighting in a way lower weight class. I think since then, and she was fighting champs. She was like fighting Durandamy and Andrade and like all these studs. So I think she is definitely my biggest threat. She's well rounded. She's good everywhere. She's also good at being a smart fighter, and she throws hard. She's big. She's powerful. So I think she'll be my toughest opponent again. But it's fighting. You never know. It only takes a second for someone to win or lose. So we'll see.
When you prepare for a season, do you go back and watch every single woman in the bracket, or do you just take it fight by fight?
I mean, I haven't really watched a ton of footage on the new fighters yet. I haven't really watched any of my old footage either. I've really just been focusing last year and into this year on getting better on just all the areas that I need to focus on personally to become a better fighter. Not okay, I'm going to focus on this opponent or this opponent or this opponent, just what I need to do personally. And I think it's made me way more dangerous and really prepared me for any fight with anyone.
Interesting narrative that's heading into this season is, we know you're phenomenal on the ground. You just maul people, but you're striking. Anderson Franca, you work with him. Talk
Hmm.
about the development in 2020 with your hands and your feet, your knees, your elbows. Oh, you can't use elbows, sorry.
I know that breaks my heart. But I really am. I'm proud of how far I've come with my striking in MMA. Obviously, I'm not gonna fall in love with a knockout. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get in there and strike and throw trade punches and take damage. Like I'm not. Listen, if I'm anything, I'm a smart fighter. Okay, I'm gonna stick to my roots. I know that the goal is to get in, hit a couple times, not get hit, clinch, take them down, like you said, maul them, and get the fight over with. Be smart. But having said that, I feel like my head movement, my range, my even just the length of my punches, my ability to see things has all improved vastly over this last year. I'm way more comfortable in the cage. I'm way more comfortable seeing things, getting hit, and being like, oh, okay, like just because I got hit doesn't mean I'm losing the fight. Stay calm, stay composed. So I think people will be excited to see that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to stand there and trade on my feet, but you should see a little more striking out of me this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you stand
Thanks.
and trade with people and seeing if you could, instead of taking them down, knocking them down and then following
I
them
would
to the
like
ground.
that. I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hunt for it. Like
Hmm.
just that's the only thing. If that's I have to get a knockout. I have to get a knockout because I think that's really dangerous, especially for grapplers. Um, you've seen it time and time again. People fall in love with the striking. And listen, I do. It's my favorite thing to train when I go to the gym. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go strike today. I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna hit pads. I'm gonna drill with Anderson. It's my favorite thing to do by far. But you got to know your strengths and you got to know the object is to win. So be smart.
Definitely. From my knowledge, from what I've heard is that you have 1 year left with the PFL. What impact, what legacy do you want to leave after the 2021 season is over and done?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I really do believe in what the PFL is doing. I believe in the format. I think that more sport based is going to be beneficial to MMA and especially MMA fighters in the future. It puts your destiny in your hands and makes you in the driver's seat, which I think at the end of the day, every fighter wants, every athlete wants. You can talk or you can be this, you can be that, but really, if you can't perform, if you can't get out there and get a W, then this isn't for you. So I'm happy to be with the PFL. I'm excited for this season, and I'm very a lot of women have helped to grow female martial arts throughout the world, and I'm happy to be a small part of it with having a 155-pound weight class, having a place for people like Clarissa Shields to come into and test their skills, growing the sport in just a small way. I think has been really important, and I think that'll be part of my legacy, but also just, total domination. I think I want people to forever say like, oh, PFL, that's where Kayla Harrison started. Oh, that's where she got hurt. That was her show.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of domination, pure domination, you look back at your previous fights with PFL and you look at the odds, they were like minus 1400. They're astronomical. It's incredible that you're such a heavy favorite. Did that ever get into your head in the past, like that pressure of like being that such a heavy favorite against the other women?
No, not really. I mean, I look at bets and odds and stuff like that now, but mostly because Mike Brown and all the coaches are always talking about it. But I'm not like, I put enough pressure on myself. There's nothing the outside world could give to me that I'm not already internally putting on myself. So, I go in the cage for me, I fight for me, I win for me. Obviously, I win for my family and for other reasons as well. I love the platform that it gives me, but there's no pressure like the pressure I put on myself. So you could have all kinds of crazy odds. And I promise you, if you put your money on me, you're going to win.
You speak of fighting for your family. Recently you became the guardian of your niece and nephew.
I did.
And you went from the cool aunt to being the parent. How was that transition?
It's tough, man. It's honestly, I have so much newfound respect for parents, especially people who adopt or foster, things like that. And I think that it is the hardest job in the world. It was really easy when I was the cool, fun aunt and I could load them up and get them all crazy on sugar and then send them back. But now I have to be the one like, no, eat your broccoli. But it's been a really big blessing for me. I think they've changed my life just as much as I hope that I'm changing theirs. And I'm really proud and honored. And it's the biggest responsibility I've ever been given, but it's been the most rewarding.
Has that changed anything with your outlook in your career in MMA in the sport?
Um, I mean, I think I just fight with a deeper sense of purpose now. I want to, and I think that I carry myself a little differently. I was always thinking about what Kyla, my niece, would see and how she, if I was being a good role model, she was always in the back of my head. But, now I wake the girl up for breakfast every morning and it's really in my head. I'm thinking about like how I'm acting, how I'm behaving, the role model that I'm being, the legacy that I want to leave. I want to teach by example and lead by example. And I just think about, fighting isn't forever. Winning is great. It's amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. There's no greater high in the world than stepping in that cage and winning and getting your arm raised. But it's not forever, this family, this thing that I'm creating here, this thing that we're doing down here, this love that I have and I have to give, that's what really matters.
Definitely. Well, you have drawn on a lot of attention for yourself with PFL and being the face of that promotion. And, the debates come up always. Cyborg and Amanda, your teammate, and, all the, even past, Rhonda and everything comes up, right? But being the GOAT, or let's say the unicorn of MMA, what do you need to accomplish to be that separate bracket for yourself?
I like what you did there. I like what you did there. I think I still have a lot to prove. By no means do I think that I'm the greatest or that I've done enough to be up there in that echelon yet. I think it's just going to take time. Only time will tell. I'm not afraid to fight anyone. I'll step in there with anyone. I'm not afraid to trade. I think that I've done everything right. I train hard. My mindset is right. I have the skill set. I have the mentality. I have the team behind me. And it's just a matter of time before I get to show the world really like, oh man, no, she's one of the best. She is the best. My goal is to be the best. So however long that takes, I'm going to get there.
What sounds more attractive, 29-0 or 50-0?
Oh my God, there's no way I'll ever make it to 50. You are crazy. Oh my God. Oh. I'm not even sure I'm going to make it to 50 years old the way my body feels most mornings. Never mind 50-0. Obviously 50-0, but 29 is pretty damn good.
Well, I'm excited to see who they match you up with. Have you heard anything? Can you give us anything?
I don't have any news on this yet. I'm waiting just as anxiously as you. Well, not anxiously, but I'm waiting.
All right, so
It's who it is.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
All right, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you step into that cage one more time and make that run. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
Thank you.
couple fighters that have done it twice, and you put your name next to them as a two-time winner of the tournament, and of course, that $1 million helps a lot.
Yeah, come in super handy now that I have 2 kids. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you got college funds and all kinds of
Yes,
stuff.
yes. Kids are expensive.
Exactly.
Take a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.